Yo, I was sitting here playing Fortnite, and I had a random thought that popped up in my head. And the thought was, DC actually has a legit chance to overtake Marvel. Here's how. Let's talk about it. Cue the intro.
Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's a geek.
So before we get started, I know we have to talk about a few things before I get to the actual stuff. So you can skip ahead and if you want to go ahead and talk about the DC and Marvel. But first things first is we actually hit a new milestone. My last video I dropped about X-Men animated series or X-Men 97. I had some people in the comments talking about, oh, it's not X-Men 97. Buddy, the last episode dropped in 1997. I can still call it X-Men 97. But anyway, that hit 2.6 thousand views. So I want to give an applause for that. I also gained 10 new subscribers or so. I think we're sitting at 182 or 183. Want to give us applause for that. And I did say I was going to go to Orlando and vlog the 4DX Kung Fu Panda movie. I did go to Orlando. I did see the 4DX Kung Fu Panda movie. I didn't vlog it because I was on vacation and I was like, man, you know what? Screw these fools. Not literally, but I was like, man, you know what? They probably gonna watch it anyway. Kung Fu Panda hype died down. The movie really wasn't all that. It was kind of mid. So whatever. So my thoughts on that, since I didn't vlog it, is if you've ever been to a 4DX theater, I advise you to try it out. If you've never been, I advise you to try it out. But once you try it out, it is an experience that you'll probably never want to do again. It was fun, but I would never want to do that again. And it was good that I saw it for Kung Fu Panda 4 because I needed something to take me away from the boring movie Kung Fu Panda 4 was. So that's that. Anyway, on to the video that we're here to talk about today. Can DC overtake Marvel? At first, I was one of those people that was like, DC can never do it. It's Marvel. It's Marvel we're talking about. They got the audience first. They got the casual audience first. And they're going to stay with the casual audience. But if you notice, right now we're in a time where we're seeing a shift. I don't know if y'all are seeing it. The shift is we're having Marvel be brung down. And DC is on the rise to becoming up. Simple fact is, like for instance, right? Everybody knows James Gunn is doing his Superman Legacy movie or Superman movie. He dropped Legacy. He's doing that. And sorry if I do a couple sniffles. I have allergies. Pollen is crazy. I apologize. So forgive me on that. He's doing his Superman movie. There was a lot of hype around that movie. And it's looking like it's going to do really well just off of the name alone being Superman. That Superman movie is guaranteed to make at least $700 million. I think it can make $700 million if it's just an okay movie to maybe $1.2 billion if it's a really, really good movie. Those are my numbers, right? Now, the next thing I'm finna say is about Marvel side. Marvel side is with Sony. Now, I know before y'all get everything in uproar, I know Marvel is not Sony, Sony is not Marvel, but they are under the same umbrella because Sony is using Marvel characters. But you have to look at this from the perspective of the casual viewer. The casual viewer might not know that this is a Sony-made Marvel movie, not an MCU-made Marvel movie. Spider-Man is a Marvel character, so they might think this is Marvel making this movie. Sony has had terrible flops. We just had Madam Web, which I actually didn't think was that bad. It was, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. We had, what was it? Morbius, all right? And we're about to have Craven. Sony just released something called Venom: The Last Dance, Venom 3. No one's really talking about it. And if they are talking about it, they're talking about the trash title. On the other hand, DC just released that they're about to work on a Teen Titans movie. I don't remember if I made a video on this, but a couple years ago when it was like just being reported that DC is about to start their own like movie or start their own saga, one of my ideas was to actually start with the Teen Titans movie and start with the Nightwing movie. That was one of my ideas. They're kind of doing it that way. They're starting with Superman, but we're getting a Batman with Damian Wayne, I think it was. This Teen Titans movie will have Dick Grayson. Alright? I would assume. They're kind of going the route that I would hope they would go. And if they do it right, if DC does this right, they can have a potential dynasty on their hands. Potential dynasty. Another thing, here's another shift. What is the main thing that Marvel fans have been crying about for the longest when it has been coming to Marvel movies? And I've been saying this a lot, that Marvel fans are hypocritical. And I say Marvel fans because I'm a Marvel fan, but I don't want to put myself in that category. The general thing has been Marvel needs to stop with the jokes. Now, hold on. Marvel needs to stop with the jokes. But if Deadpool makes a joke, it's all fine and good. If Guardians of the Galaxy have jokes in it, it's all fine and good. But with anything else, they need to stop. Oops. Apparently. And I agree. This is the one area where DC can overcome that. DC Comics, DC, they are known to be more, let's say, mature than Marvel. Sometimes, in some stories, they deal with more mature themes than Marvel. Marvel has always been kind of the PG-13 version with some stuff, and DC has been kind of the rated R version with some stuff. Now, let's be honest, they both had their times where they're both PG-13 and they're both rated R. Sometimes they're PG. Every story has their stories on each side that can fit those arguments. But I will say DC is more mature than Marvel as a whole, in my opinion. DC, basically what I'm trying to say, if y'all haven't understood by now, DC can fill a void that Marvel fans and casual fans are looking for right now. We're looking, the superhero genre in general is looking for newness, something fresh, a fresh breath. When people don't really say superhero fatigue. They say Marvel fatigue, right? And they say Marvel fatigue because Marvel has been the main source of these superhero movies. But what if you have DC come in and they're doing some stuff different? It took Marvel, 10, 15, 20 years, however long, the MCU, to actually do a proper rated R movie with Deadpool 3, right? Well, you had Logan, but that was, Logan was Fox still, if I want to say. I think Logan was still Fox. DC can come in and do stuff that Marvel can't right now. That Marvel is trying to do. Marvel right now is still focused on trying to get new people, new children to become fans. And that is not really what they should be focused on right now. Right now, they should be focused on keeping the fans that they made 10 years ago. Because back then, the stuff wasn't kiddie and they made us. They had us be fans. So you can do the same thing for the generation coming up. Now, I do admit, the generation coming up now is a little more soft. A little more sassy, if you will. No offense, but they're a little more fragile. You can't say certain stuff to them. Can't do this, can't do that. It's a different time. DC can come in and say, screw it. We don't have a new slate. We're going to come off and already be raunchy and be raw. That's how they can do it. Now, the Superman movie is not the movie to do that. Because Superman, they tried to do that in Man of Steel and it didn't really go well. Because you don't do that with Superman. You can do it with Superman in some stories, but you shouldn't do it here. Here, we should get a soft version of Clark Kent and get a Superman who stands for justice, power, and peace. Now, the movie you can do that with is Batman the Brave and the Bold. That's the movie where you show more of that matureness. That's the movie where you show more of that graininess, that raunchiness. I don't know, I like that word, I'm sorry. If James Gunn executes this right, we can see a shift in the next, Superman comes out in 2025. Fantastic Four comes out in 2025, July. Same month. They both come out in the same month. That could be the turning point where we see a shift. Now, when that happens, if it doesn't happen, come back to this video. I'll remind y'all that I said this. If a shift doesn't happen, okay. Maybe it'll happen in the future. Maybe it won't happen at all, and Marvel has finally learned from their mistakes. But right now, Marvel hasn't really had the chance to capitalize on what they're doing. Deadpool 3 is coming up, but Deadpool 3, if Deadpool 3 is great, that won't be enough. People will still have those tastes of those other mediocre Marvel movies. Right? We need Deadpool 3 to be good. We need Fantastic Four to be good. What else? I don't know what else is in the slate. But we need the next Thunderbolts, all that crap. Captain America 4, all that. We need those next 4 or 5 movies to be bangers. They don't have to be $1 billion at the box office, but they need to at least hit 650 million, 700 million or better. All of them. Then we can actually start saying Marvel is back. But if you have a situation where Fantastic Four hits like what, $1 billion, 700, 800 million, and then Superman hits like 1.5, you will be aware that the shift might be starting to happen. That's all I wanted to say to y'all. I hope everybody, if you're in college, I hope y'all had a good spring break. I know I did. If you're working, I hope you're having a good month or good week or whatever. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, still like the video. We're on the road to 200 subscribers. I appreciate everybody who continues to like my content, share my content, and subscribe to me. But without further ado, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for everything. I know I don't post as much, but hey, I told y'all this is going to be my new schedule. I'll probably post once a week, once every week and a half, if that. But when I do post, it'll be bangers. Alright? So without further ado, I'm out. Peace.